Bees may seem to be a nuisance, swarming around and landing on an ice-cold drink in the spring and summertime. Bees do have a purpose other than annoying us. For instance, wasps are a natural pest control. They eat things like green flies and spiders, meaning less of these pests are getting into your garden and destroying crops. Honeybees pollinate flowers, fruits, and vegetables. They also produce honey. The bee population is rapidly decreasing, which could cause the availability of fresh produce to decline as well. Bees are found where there are flowers, from Alaska to Florida to Greenlands and deserts. There are around 4,000 species of bees native to the United States. Honeybees, though, are not one of those native species. They were brought to the United States by Europeans in hives, but the honeybees escaped, making their nest in hollow trees. Though honeybees are great at pollinating flowers, they are unable to pollinate native plants and produce, but do pollinate plants that are not native to the United States. A bee's body is divided into 3 parts: a head with 2 antennas, a thorax with 6 legs, and an abdomen, and 2 pairs of wings. Only female bees have stingers. Many bee species are black and yellow, but some come in many other colors, such as green, blue, red, or black. Some are striped, and some can have a metallic sheen. They range in size from large carpenter bees to bumblebees to the tiny Perdita minima bee, which is less than 2 millimeters long. Native bees are often overlooked because they aren't domesticated or because some of them don't look like what we think of as traditional bees, which are fuzzy, black, and yellow. Bees are hairy, and those little hairs allow the pollen to stick to the bees for transport. They are the most dominant pollinators, with butterflies, beetles, flies, birds, rodents, monkeys, and even people pollinating. The most common pollinators are insects, mainly bees. Animals and insects pick up pollen from the flowers and spread it, and this allows plants, including many food crops, to reproduce. Bees are descended from wasps, who were all carnivores. Millions of years ago, when flowering plants evolved, many wasps started gathering pollen instead of insects, giving us the modern bees that we see today. Wasps do still hunt for their food, meaning less spiders and other pests are destroying crops. How do bees help the environment? Pollinators help plants survive, and plants produce a third of our food supply by giving us fruits, vegetables, and nuts. They provide half of the world's oils, fibers, and other raw materials, and they are used to create many medicines, and they can provide food and cover for wildlife. They keep waterways clean, prevent soil erosion, produce the oxygen we breathe, and absorb carbon dioxide, stabilizing global climate change. Honeybees are among the most common and efficient pollinators in the world. The average honeybee can visit more than 2,000 flowers in a day, and a whole colony can pollinate up to 300 million flowers in one day, drastically decreasing the chances of a plant producing a fruit or vegetable. They are responsible for 80% of pollinating. The bee population is rapidly declining due to pesticides, air pollution, habitat loss, demanding farming practices, and fluctuations in weather patterns. Humans are causing the most harm to bees with pesticides and habitat destruction. There have been up to 150 chemicals found in bee pollen. So what can we do to help? Humans can help by using less pesticides, using organic pesticides, or using non-chemical solutions for insect issues. They can plant pollinator gardens or create hives and become beekeepers. Some may be fearful of being stung, but if we leave them alone, they will leave us alone. Planting native plants from your area and using local native flowering plants to benefit the local pollinators. Finding and planting the right plants can make a huge difference for them. Providing different native flowers, trees, shrubs, and wildlife that blossoms continuously throughout the seasons. Fortunately, this is precisely what most gardens aim to have in their gardens. Using native plants also demands less care as they have adapted to local environments. Without bees, plants would die off, leaving humans and animals with little to no fresh produce, leading to famine, and ecosystems would be altered in a negative way. and there would be less trees, meaning less oxygen for us to breathe.